10-minute daily reality check. David Wygant here. John Keegan, Awakened Lifestyle.
Yo.
John, man, I'll tell you something. There is something going on that I hear over and over again. Give me about a minute to explain before you jump out of your skin and before you join in. Desperation is the stinkiest cologne people can ever wear, and I hear it all the time. A friend of mine dating a woman. The woman is 39 years old. You know exactly what I'm going to say, right? They're in this pseudo relationship. It's not really great. You know, it's an okay relationship. It's not a fabulous relationship at all. She truly, really wants to be a mommy, right? So they're thinking of maybe upping the stakes in the relationship. You know, maybe spending some more time together. Maybe buying a house together because they live in a community where they can actually buy a house, where the housing prices are not the price of what Bitcoin was 10 days ago, right? So they're able to truly buy a house. And she looked at him and said, you know, I'd be in on this relationship, but I need to make sure that our baby, or actually she didn't use the word our baby, my baby will be able to have all the things in life that I didn't have. There's no like, God, I really love you, I want to be with you. It's about my baby. It's about my baby. She's got baby on the brain. It reeks of fucking desperation. And here's one of the biggest things that I see on a regular basis from so many people, so many women. And believe me, there's a man's side of this too. And we're going to get to the man's side of this in a minute because the man is equally at fault for this because the man is usually making the mistake of making the woman way too hot in his brain, not thinking he can get another hot woman. So women have come down. The priority of the relationship is to have the baby instead of the priority of the relationship is to have a relationship. Guess what happens next? When you got the priority of the relationship to have a baby, you're going to have a baby. And guess what's going to happen to the man? The man is going to be cut secondary. The relationship is not going to work out. And then the two people are going to split and divorce because the relationship needs to be a priority. When you prioritize a relationship, you're telling the person that you want to be with them. And men are starting to wise up to that. Men are starting to smell that desperation. So many men have come to me recently and go, what the fuck is it with women 36 to 42 years old that have never had a kid? Holy shit, I went on a date. I felt like I was being fucking literally sized up for a Honda minivan on that very, very first date. She didn't really care about who I was. She kept talking about what she wanted. What is this, John? Why are people, and men make mistakes too. We're not throwing women under the bus here entirely because we're going to get to the men's side of this desperation cologne in a second. What is it and why are people not understanding that in order to have a baby comes from a relationship that was prioritized? And why are people just not understanding that basic principle that in order to have love, you need to prioritize the relationship. In order to have a great family, you need to prioritize each other. In order to show a child how to grow up in love, you need to not make it about the child and the ego that wants the child, but to make it about the relationship. What is it, John? Why is this going on so much? Because people are getting married way later, and there's so many women out there that are running around with womb vacancies. You know, literally you can see it across their fucking head like a neon sign, womb, vacancy, vacancy, vacancy. What is it? Why is this happening? And why are people not understanding that if you don't prioritize the relationship, no good will come of this?
Well, this is really important. Once again, we're getting into people playing an idea of what life should be, or an idea of what another person is, or an idea of what they want. And as far as obviously women have that, that's you could say it's unfortunate. But on the other hand, they do know it, that there is a biological clock. And
Yes.
I don't know. And that's something, there's a guy named Jordan Peterson, who's an amazing guy for men and women both to listen to. He's check him out on YouTube. But he really talks about how men are really not growing up at an alarming rate. And one of the reasons that men could not grow up a lot faster than women, where women is because we don't have that biological clock. I mean, at the same time, we still have, we're still going to die, right? So you may want to have a kid at one point, but women in general do have a biological clock, and that's just true. So they really feel that pressure, usually late 20s, early 30s, and but now it can go all the way up into the 40s, and because women can still have babies then. So I've certainly been in that. So I mean, it's certainly understandable, and that's just part of being a woman. So, but at the same time, I think you might even ask yourself, do I really want a kid? I mean, we're talking about desperation, but there's also just that thing like you don't have to have a baby. A lot of times we think we're supposed to have a baby. The world has enough people, but maybe you really want to have a child. But you really just want to have a child to have a child, like David said, to have for an ego gratification, or do you want to have a loving family? And to me, it really would be nice if you could have a father in the picture, that and a mother who love each other. And there's enough brokenness in the world, isn't there?
Well,
So,
what, John, there's so many, and this is a statistic that I've read one time recently, and through my own life, I have coached so many people
mm,
who have had the baby that they wanted, right? Because they
mhm,
just got to that point. And look, once again, John and I will never understand what it's like to have a biological clock ticking. So I'm not ripping you apart for wanting a baby. I think it's an absolute beautiful thing. I have a daughter that I love to death, and I understand what it's like to be a parent. So I get it, and I do understand it, and I have a lot of compassion. But I also know from so many experiences that I have seen around Los Angeles and New York and all over the world that is written into me, you are basically going down a slippery slope because of your own need to have a child. You all of a sudden think that you're going to have this relationship that you've never ever had before, and you're going to have the skills to develop a relationship you've never had before. So now all of a sudden you think within a year you're going to be able to find this amazing man, and the two of you are going to get to know one another, fall head over heels in love, and then you're going to be able to have a baby from that. When in reality, if you look at any relationship, in order for a relationship to really blossom, is to have zero expectations, just to literally meet somebody, get to know them, fall in love organically, be aligned with what you both want, be present. Don't throw your future all over that. Don't have a clock ticking and rushing it, because love is not something that can be rushed. You can't rush love. You really can't. You cannot rush a relationship along. You can't rush the outcome. And what happens is you're taking so many shortcuts, and the next thing you know, you have a child and you're happy because you feel validated. Yay! I'm 41
mm,
years old and I'm having a kid. This is fucking fan-fucking-tastic. I'm going to have a child right now. And the relationship doesn't have the foundation because it wasn't built on a foundation. It was built on on this is the guy I got to have the kid with, so I'm going to have the kid with. So it was based on an outcome in mind ahead of time. And what happens is you're bringing another child into the world, guaranteeing most likely another divorce, and you're going to end up being a single mom. And then you're going to end up having a single mom, single dad relationship, and your entire fucking life is going to change because you were self-centered wanting a kid, and you didn't think about what a kid truly needs. A child truly wants their parents together. A child truly wants to grow up in that type of environment. A child would love to learn, because the greatest lesson in the entire world is teaching a child what love is all about through the eyes of how they see you and your significant other interact. And if you do stay together and you're not enjoying each other and you're not really aligned, you're showing a child bad relationship skills for the remainder of their life. And they're going to come to people like John and I for help because they're so fucked up, because the man or the boy turned out to be the mom's emotional husband because the guy that she picked wasn't the right guy. The woman turns out to have fucking father issues because the man never felt loved by the woman, so he walked away and barely had a relationship with the daughter who screwed her up. So I'm seeing the effects of this on a regular basis through all my coaching and all the clients that I've worked with. And this is all because a lot of us can't accept the fact that not everybody is going to have the opportunity to live that exact life that they planned out, because maybe God, if you believe in God or the universe, had a different path for you, and you need to start accepting that.
Well, this is, I mean, you just went on a beautiful, you should just write that one down. It could be a chapter in a book. It really is. I mean, we're saying important things here. It's really nice to be a part of this conversation, and everyone listening is a part of it too. So it's because it's meaningful what we're talking about, and it's real. And you and I have a very unique lot in life and unique perspective from having worked with so many people, men and women both, and but really a lot of guys, and you're seeing this effect of this Mr. Nice Guy syndrome, this thing that's caused by single mothers raising their sons with no father figure, and then this Mr. Nice Guy emerges, and then it goes back to the yesterday's podcast. So why do modern women hate men? um, because men don't know how to lead. They lost their lead, they lost their ability to lead, and everyone's fucked up. The whole thing's fucked up.
Well, you're seeing a big generation of men right now that are really one of the first generations of divorce.
Mm,
And, you're seeing a lot of that. You're seeing a lot of the millennials who really aren't big leaders when it comes down to relationships because they grew up with chatting and texting and the easy way out of things. And then you're seeing a lot of men in their 30s, 40s, and 50s that grew up in broken divorce homes, and they didn't see what a man and woman should interact, how they should interact, and how they should love one another. So you're seeing the effects of that, and you're
mm,
going to start to see more and more of the effects. And what we're doing is we're naturally fucking killing off what men and women should be. And you're seeing angry people. And the fact is that nobody's really looking at the deeper causes. That the deeper causes of it is that we've become so selfish and so self-centered in so many ways. I mean, how many people have I counseled, John, and they've said to me, like, oh my God, I think if my husband and I just had another baby, everything would be fine. And I think to myself, wait a second, you're not getting along now. You throw another kid in the fucking fire, you're
mm.
basically throwing less time for the two of you together, more time to shuttle kids around, and less time to connect as adults. So, yeah, that's going to be the benefit. That's going to help the relationship. That's going to make the relationship fucking blossom. That's brilliant thinking, you
Mm.
fucking moron. I mean, that's how I feel with that.
Yeah.
Brilliant fucking thinking. It
No.
really is ridiculous. And the thing is, we're all really, a lot of people, not all, but a lot of people are operating on a very selfish motive. I mean, their motives are very selfish, but they're also operating on stories. And a lot of people who came from broken homes so desperately want a family, and they have this story that they need to have two children, and they need this and they need that, and they haven't really looked at their life and allowed new stories to form. Because well, the beauty of life is seeing new stories form every single day, because that's what the universe is really presenting to you. The universe is presenting brand new stories and brand new experiences and opportunities to grow, but we're missing it every single day because we're truly stuck in our fucking past story.
Well, I mean, there's so many things being said here. One of the other things is just like this idea that once again we're sold a dream. Like the whole world's been sold the American dream, which is unsustainable for the whole world, and that's causing a lot of problems in of itself. But also the dream. There's like a dream of the past, a husband and wife and 3 kids, and I'm not saying it's not a nice dream or worthy dream to have, or a husband and wife and 6 kids. A friend of mine wants that, and he's doing it happily with his happily, and his wife is too. But does it have to be everybody's dream? Does everybody have to live that out? We have so many great opportunities in this world. Like there used to be limited what you could do, and maybe in some ways people are happy with that, with the less options, the less choices. But now you really can be a happily single person with a lot of great friends. But I think uh, you have to. One thing that David really tapped on is whatever you have in your life, you have to have real relationships. And we're going to get back to Desperation being the world's stinkiest cologne. You have to have real relationships, deep relationships, and of course that deep relationship has to start with yourself, self-loving, self-appreciating, self-nurturing, self-caring. And then of course you have to have that, bring that outward, and with a higher power, if you will, something bigger than yourself, something bigger than your own brain. People I notice who are the most neurotic are people who don't believe in something bigger than themselves. They only believe in the power of their own mini sized brain. So when you believe in something bigger than yourself, you can chill out a little bit. Now, then you can bring it out to the relationships you have, like friends. Like David and I are great friends. It's very meaningful to me to have. Even though I don't talk to David every day, it's a meaningful relationship where we can share and talk, and we're there for each other, and that's very valuable because both of us have been in relationships, many over the last decade, and people have come and gone, but your friend's still there. You're really so. There's a really important to value your friendships and deepen them. And then, of course, if you like, David made a great point, which is, wait, you're trying to get to this end result, the baby. We're going to have the baby, and then everything's going to be. Then we'll have this picture that we've been seeing in all the magazines and all. Just like men are shocked by asses and sex, women are getting sold a dream that they're more attracted to, which might be elegance and grace and the perfect picture of the family, and they sucked into that dream, and then now you have this thing's been painted out. Now we have the kid, and there's a man there, and this is all going to work out. Now we're going to have this happy life, and of course, whenever you focus on an end result over the process of anything, it will end in frustration. You will find frustration. So David made a great point, is that the relationship with your partner that you're going to have this baby with your relationship with your lover, with your friend, that's beautiful. And from that can an extension of that can be children. But from that, why not create something from that instead of this desperate need to get it done by the time you're whatever age? And we could go on all year about this, but I think we made some good points. Now,
I think we made a good point, and I think we'll come back and bring you back another round tomorrow, man, because I know we got one more topic to cover tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to cover something that is also equally going to get you to think this weekend differently. It's the last weekend in January, and we want to get you to think a little bit. It's the pre-weekend before the Super Bowl, so why not have your own Super Bowl? Tomorrow you need to tune in for real self-help that doesn't suck. John Keegan from The Awakened Lifestyle. David from davidwygant.com. Spread the love, spread the podcast. And if you know of women that have a womb with a vacancy, or you know anybody that's got Desperation Cologne sprinkled all over them, I strongly suggest you share this podcast anonymously, or, well, if you share it with them anonymously, they will not know where it's coming from. But I would share it with them and show them what a friendship really is. We'll see you both tomorrow.
Bye-bye.